Hey guys, what's going on this Thursday?
Hey, Scott, and thank you very much. Hello, Jamie.
Hey, Andy,
How are
what's
you,
going
buddy?
on over there?
Nothing much. I got a cold dragging me down, but other than that, you can probably hear the bass in my voice, huh?
Yeah, a little octave
Yeah,
off, but
there you
yeah,
go.
I've been gone myself for a while, so it's good to be back. Good to be back.
All right. Well, you guys bear with me today. I'm gonna try to get through this. We have some, I put together something pretty quick, but I'm going to ask for, your participation. Last time I did this, but we got slammed. But we do want these webinars to be interactive. We want to answer some questions that you might have. I know a lot of people cannot come to our uh, help sessions during the morning, so feel free to ask your questions in the questions panel, like Scott pointed out. But let's dive into the legal uh, disclaimer first before we do anything. Don't want to get in trouble here. All right, we are content providers. This is for educational purposes only. You're going to see a lot of cool stuff. You're going to hear us talking about some stocks and some setups, possibly. Nothing should be construed as investment advice, though. Okay, that's not our job. If you're seeking that, please look for somebody who hangs that license. Okay, the Series 7, we call it in the business, but anyway, that's not our job, but we're here to provide some good content for you and hopefully help you become better traders. Yes, Mike, I have been doing a lot of those things, but a couple of those items I'll have to add to my arsenal. All right, let's talk about the 5-star support, education, and training. All right, it starts in the traders room, and I know most of you who are in here, got a nice crowd, by the way. uh, have been to the traders room. That's with Barry. He's a great moderator, a great trader. I should just say good. He's a great trader. And not only that, there's many, I should say, great traders in there. Great hangout, and you do not have to have a subscription to Trade Ideas. Okay, it's open to everyone. So if you haven't been in there, please do get in there. Especially if you're a beginner. There's no better way to learn than watching other traders, good traders, trade. And then we have uh, I just started thinking of something, Jamie. I hope I didn't take out that slide for TI University, but that's all right. I can manage it, I believe. Uh, but our afternoon webinars, now that the test drive is over, is back on the slate, and we have them on Monday through Thursday in the same time slot, 5 Eastern time. And it's usually myself, Jamie, or Steve Gomez, kind of juggling that act. But on Wednesdays, we give you Dan Merkin and Brad Williams. That's our CEO and our CTO, and that's a great hangout to come for Q&A. See a demo of new versions that are coming around the corner. So all of them are great places to learn more about trade ideas. And then Friday support session. Uh, That is actually turning into our new venue. I'm going to go ahead and discuss that here real quick. You will be getting emails on this topic. What we've decided to do, and let me just, not even going to talk about the Friday support session. TI University, which we used to offer live, okay, in real time, where you guys could come on, listen to an hour with the curriculum, and then have any Q&A after that. We found out what most people were doing. They were just going to YouTube, and because the same content was on YouTube, so they were just going and downloading or just watching streaming it on YouTube, uh, and watching it there. Not really streaming, just watching the recording on YouTube. So that is still available. This will always be available for you on our YouTube channel. If you just go to YouTube and go to Trade Ideas, okay, you can find it. Go to the playlist and you will find TI University in there. And what that has enabled us to do is now we're going to be offering every morning for an hour, basically live stream YouTube for Q&A, where anybody can come, because we notice what happens is people come in all the time and asking questions for traders. And with the TI University, we just didn't have we could not really go that far off topic. So what we're going to do is just open up a YouTube every morning. I should say every day around noon. It's 12 Eastern time, and it's going to be a live stream. You'll be seeing a lot more detail. We just launched it this week. Scott's still, putting together the promos and marketing and all that. So, anyway, it's going to be a great little live stream every day. A lot more people in there asking great questions. It's just the way everything's kind of going. So I will go over this part. But once again, guys, this will always be available on our YouTube channel. Okay, so you do not want to miss this great content where you can learn how to use trade ideas. All right. Oh, and by the way, that is recorded fresh. This is all fresh content. Did it about 2 weeks ago. Paper trader. All right. Trade ideas, paper trader. We like to call it our simulated trader. It's now available. And it's a great little interface where you can trade, practice on your strategies, your portfolio management skills. You do not need a broker. Okay. Everything can be done on our platform. You do not need to fund an account. Okay. Everything can be done on our platform. You use our Brokerage Plus interface, and it's very user-friendly, easy to use. And the great part about this is, let's say you take this product and you practice with it for six to 8 months, or maybe you're quicker and maybe you can do it 4 to 6 months. But now when you go to open up a live account, you're going to be familiar with this interface, and you're going to be using that same interface if you go with IB or whoever we may have on board as well at that time. So a lot of good stuff coming, guys, where we can make trading a lot more easier for you. Excuse me, guys, we get some water here. All right, thank you. Agenda for today, the market recap. Okay, and then Holly recap. Jamie's going to take it over and give me a break for my throat and take over the Holly recap there for you. It's an interesting day. I looked up this morning, Jamie, they were all red. A few hours later, they were all green.
That's right. The NEO was down about what it finished up.
Yeah.
Classic example of a drawdown,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, and I was sitting around saying, we just came from the test drive. We've been covering a lot of information as far as the software goes. I wanted to put something together where we could have maybe a little interaction, give my throat a rest instead of me just rambling for an hour. So I'm gonna talk about just 3 FAQs that I get asked a lot. Okay, it's about momentum scanner. What's the best momentum scanner? I'm gonna have some thoughts on that. Swing trading. Okay, can TI be used for swing trading? Of course it can. I'm gonna have some thoughts on that. And then day trading. Since most of us here, gosh, I shouldn't say most, all of us, as far as the ones that help you are longtime traders, I always get asked, what's the best advice for day trading? And I'll share some thoughts on that. And a lot of that will also apply to swing trading. So anyway, with that said, let's pop this out and go to the SPY ETF. This is what we like to use to kind of get a gauge of what the market's doing. And I got a funky VWAP in there. Let me take that out. I was doing that for somebody here today. Indicator, modify, remove. Oh gosh, what'd I do there? There it goes. All right, so here is the SPYs again. And here you got Lucy pulling the football away from Charlie Brown once again. I mean, that was an ugly move down this morning, Jamie. And boy, I mean, you took out basically, let's just draw a line, which by the way, guys, if you have the new platform, really easy to draw lines. Kind of broke through that area right there, and look what happened. We came down, kind of bounced in no man's land. I was thinking we may go down over the next couple of days to the 20, but man, this is the most resilient zombie market I've ever seen. And I don't want to give a reason why. I have a couple in my back of my head, but it doesn't matter. It's price is the only thing that matters. And but man, it's really strong. I mean, right now, with our close today, let me just draw this up since we bounced off that. We're kind of in no man's land now that we're over the last 5 days. If I draw 3 lines right here, I guess I have to draw it right there. So, kind of in the middle of our 5-day range right here. We'll see what happens. There was some volume coming in this morning. Let's take a look at the intraday to see the volume kind of peaked. And I don't even know what the news was, Jamie. I really don't, or if there was any news. But like I say, I don't pay that much attention to news. But once again, boy, Lucy pulls the football away. Buyers came in, pushed this market back up to where it was at least respectable, only down about 0.5%.
Yeah, it was when I saw those compare count readings this morning, it was almost 50-50, but it ended up being 51% green versus 49% red, which just throws up the flag and goes, things are going to be very slippery today. And we saw what happened after that. I personally, just like you, I thought maybe we'd go ahead and push down a little bit further. But hey, tomorrow's Friday, and for some reason, had a lot of red Fridays as of late. So it'll be interesting to see what unfolds tomorrow.
Thomas Marks is in here. Hey, welcome back, Thomas. And let's take a look real quick at the Qs. And pretty much the same picture. All of these guys, these things, guys, except for IWM, are pretty much close to all-time highs. So there's no use to sit here and, talking about where the market is and where is it going. I mean, right now it's just going higher until it doesn't anymore. And anybody that's telling you that they know where it's going to stop is probably trying to sell you something. Diamonds, maybe not the case. It's a little bit weaker there on the diamonds, but once again, that's only 30 stocks. But you can see it's actually below its 10-period moving average right now. And of course, the IWM, I haven't looked at it in a few days, and actually showing some relative strength there. It's close to it. I mean, relative strength in the last several days. You can see this one is actually close to its 5-day high there, and a very impressive bounce back today, closing close to highs. So, Jamie, do you have anything else you want to add to the overall market recap?
No, I pretty much concur, Dr. Lindelof.
Well, thank you, buddy. I can use a break.
I didn't know if you could hear me okay. There was a little bit of a lag there.
Oh, no. I heard you fine.
Very good. Okay,
all right.
ready?
You want to take it, or you want me to shoot it over?
Yeah. Let me grab it real quick here. And you should have eyes on my desktop now.
I do.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so one of the attendees was talking about how he took the trade twist in simulation mode today, which just happens to be a decent example of a little bit of spread between conservative profit and moderate profit here. And just to kind of recap here before we go into looking at some of these trades.
Oh, gosh.
Hold on one second there. Andy forgetting to hit his mute button there.
Sorry about that, buddy.
Little comic relief, but hey, we've all had colds. In any case, the difference between conservative profit and moderate profit and the spread, if any, is what we're going to talk about today. Really good example in MCS up here. Good example, as I was saying, in Twist. Let's just go ahead and take a look at Twist real quick first. This one was spawned from Holly Neo, pullback long. And just to kind of, encapsulate here, what is the difference between conservative profit and moderate profit? And conservative profit is Holly playing by the rule set, just like you or I would do on a manual trade. You got stop loss, you might have a profit target. Those are hard set. If one gets hit, it gets hit. In addition to that, the timed hold that a lot of these day trades are generated around. Could be 30 minutes, 120 minutes, 45 minutes. As we take a peek down here at the strategy panel, you can see what each and every strategy was designed around. 45 minutes for nice chart, 120 minutes for tailwind, so forth and so on. But Twist on the pullback long, let's see where that guy's hiding at. Yeah, we're looking at a hold until 15 minutes before the close of 2:45 Central Standard Time. So without further ado, we can see the entry signal up here. Holly saying buy at 31.85. But then when we look at twist on the conservative profit, $12.25. And by the way, all the numbers that you're seeing right here are based around a stop loss generated value. So in other words, the way I have my AI set up, if I go to tools and options and we look at the AI trade size, I'm just simply saying risk $100 per trade, and then it sizes me up accordingly as far as shares go. Now on twist, that would have gotten us 49 shares, and Holly gets out. Why did she get out? Well, in addition to the profit target, stop loss, and timed hold, she also has the option to get out of a trade early without any of those things being triggered in the form of what I like to refer to as audibles, profit save, and reduce risk. In this case on twist, profit save was engaged. So that's $4.25 for twist in conservative mode. But the moderate profit column is just showing us what would have happened had we ignored the AI's exit signal and stayed in the trade. And then of course, that's all up for interpretation as the market and the trades unfold. So we see the buy price here at 31.85. This colored area on the chart coincides with time spent in the trade in conservative profit mode, which used to be called risk off. So not surprising here. After the entry candle for a 15-minute period, we basically get a little bit of a pop, but then we get a little bit of sideways action. If I were to chop this up into 5-minute candles, we'd see more of them, obviously. In essence, I like to refer to this, if we try to humanize Holly, as getting bored of the trade, right? Trade's not moving that direction that we hoped for anymore, which is up, stalling out a little bit. So she's like, yeah, it's not working anymore. I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug. So she locks in her 12 bucks. But notice, we're well above the entry signal, nowhere near the stop price, and that's why we have hard stops. That's what we're willing to risk if we're wrong. So in essence, ignoring Holly's exit signal here and going, you know what, tell you what, I really like the 10 period here, which is the green line, otherwise known as the fast line. I'm going to use it as my guide. Now, after Holly gets out, things starts heading down. Holly's thinking, I'm pretty smart, got out, now it's going to be negative, but only for a little bit of time until it comes down here and kisses this 10 period, and then we get another little up move, higher highs, and then you can see what the stock did into the close. So even a little bit more juice on the table at the high here, but the bottom line is taking on more risk, which is ignoring the exit signal generated by the AI. You could have made 5 times what the AI made just by going, you know what, I like what's going on with the chart. I'm going to stick with it a little bit longer. In other words, I'm going to increase my risk level from conservative to moderate, and we could have yielded 61 bucks going into the close, and even a little bit higher back here at this point, about 30 minutes, actually about an hour and a half before the close. So therein being able to capture some of this spread between conservative and moderate risk. So a good example in twist. Now let's take a look at MCS. Even more of an opportunity here. Holly making the entry right here at 32.64. We get about 30 minutes of sideways action, just kind of hovering right above the entry line, which, hey, not that bad. Not even acting for a moment like we're going to get stopped out down here. Pretty much hugs that entry line. Holly makes the exit right here for a small loss, believe it or not, negative $2.21, almost a flat. Big difference here, ladies and gentlemen, between negative $2 and $203. And all we had to do was, exert a little bit of patience here. It's going to be quite evident if this thing is just making a beeline for the stop loss, but in this case, it's just hugging that line like a glove. As soon as it reclaims that 10 period, it's off to the races. So once again, by ignoring Holly's profit save exit on twist and MCS, could have outperformed the AI by managing the exits. And it's also, always like to pound that home to everybody. The real superpower of the AI are the statistically weighted entries. Not so good on the exits. The mechanical ones, stop losses, profit targets, and timed holds. Those are just flat out rules, right? But when it comes to the profit save and the reduced risk, a lot of the times, if I'm not in a trade already and I see Holly's screen flash here, see that profit save kick in, a lot of the times that can be a really good entry signal. Since you closed it out for a small loss here, that really means you had a chance to get the same or a slightly better price than the AI. Becomes a lot more obvious in some instances where we fill about half the distance to the stop loss. And sometimes we might see a wick put in here and then a reclaiming of the entry signal. Even better, we could accept less risk by using the bottom of the wick that may or may not form. So just keep in mind, it's not just the initial entry signal that can be beneficial when watching the AI. It can also be some of the exit signals used as entry signals based on what you're seeing unfold on the chart there. Now let's take a look at a short play here. This one coming from Holly Neo, the pullback short. Took a little bit of time for some of these shorts to get going here, but a beautiful entry right here on NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. I would think that all the cruise ship companies are taking a little bit of a ding here because of a certain virus that's kind of propagating all over the place. But yeah, when you're in a cruise ship, you're just basically in a giant petri dish. So no big surprise to see some of the cruise lines taking a hit. Whether it's prolonged or not is another question, but a beautiful entry here on the NCLH. Holly getting out right about here. Notice what's happening too. We just do the reverse for the short. This 10 period keeping it nice and tapped down. We're in the money. We're thinking, oh yeah, it's great. But of course, as things unfold, we take a little pullback to the upside. Holly decides to bail once again on the profit save. Audible there, only getting 73.50, whereas if we would have stayed in the trade, could have even risked a break-even stop here, or use a little bit of the 50-50 trade management style there. You get up a nice position, you peel out a half, you set the second lot for a break-even stop, and you would have gotten to enjoy the rest of this downturn here. And the beautiful thing about that, simple trade management 101, you clip out of half of your position on the initial move, set the stop for break even on the second lot. If you do get rolled back over, you flat it, you still made money on the first lot. But in this case, you would have gotten to enjoy this nice stair step down here. All the while, the 10 period keeping it nice and tapped down, giving us confidence to stay in the trade. And let's go ahead and take a look at XENT, another short play. This one a little bit choppier. Holly kicking out the entry signal at 28.28. Always like those dual numbers there. Off to the races, and then of course, as you know, as the market dictates most of the time, especially on the short side here lately, not quite as pretty a chart as NCLH, but it worked nonetheless. Even a break-even stop would have kept you in it. Holly gets out right here. Once again, this one going the entire time to exit. Holly making 88 bucks on a $100 risk there. But had we stayed in it till the close, doubling that at least, and then a little bit left over. So once again, the break-even stop on the second lot or the full trade would have kept you in this one all day. Of course, it's never fun to be up and then almost to give it all back, but sometimes we have to sit the red to enjoy the green. This is a classic example of that. All in all, not a bad performance from Holly Neo today. And if we sort by the module over here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 trades coming out of Holly Neo today. So not quite a 50-50 split, 6 longs, 4 shorts. And let's see here if we have any more spread to carve up here. See, this is one that Holly made the right call on. Conservative profit, 120 bucks. Had we stayed in it, we would have given up 20. You got a little bit of spread here, but XENT and CLH and MCS, clearly the big spreads between conservative and moderate profit. And we'll take a look at one more on the breakout long here. Almost a doubler here, but not quite. Not quite. VSLR 1238. I mean, this one would have been really painful. You know, you get long here at 1238 and change. You get up here, thinking it's a great trade. If this is a good example though, if you would have taken half off with Holly and set that break even stop, this one is one that would have rolled back over and got you, but it still would have been a winning trade, right? Flat the second lot, take profit on the first lot, because whether these things keep going, we can try to assume some guidance from the daily and identify the support and resistance, but a lot of the times we just don't know. So you can hedge your bets by peeling off some initially, setting that break-even stop, and then forgetting about it. This one's kind of interesting because once it did pivot back through that entry signal, boy, it's almost like the stop loss acted as a pivot point. I always find this interesting. Sometimes when you see a stop occur, or you see something getting really close to a stop, once it puts in that bottom there and starts hovering right above that stop loss area, and then you get a little bit of a candle formation like this doji here, a lot of the times, just because the AI brought it to your attention, you might not have even been in the trade, but it can still point you to some very interesting setups, right? Seeing a stop out almost occur, then we see this little doji on the intraday 15-minute, reclaiming of the 10 period here, well below the entry signal. And still, even if you took it right here, just because it was brought to your attention by the AI, or maybe you did the 50-50 methodology, made a little bit, got rolled out on your second, and then you're like, I'm gonna go back in here, stayed above that 10 period for the rest of the day. Could have been a whole nother good trade there from about the 1238 level up to 1285 or so. So just keep that in mind as you progress. Initial entry signals are great, but that's not all the tricks in the bag that Holly has. Sometimes these exit signals, especially the profit saves and the reduced risk, can point us to something that we can see because we're humans using charts where the AI is bringing us statistically weighted entries. So between the two, it makes a very powerful combination. That's about it, Andy, as far as the conservative and moderate profits. So I'll kick it on back over to you.
Yeah, great job. Gave me a little
much.
break. I'm not sure how much it's going to help, but all right, guys. So what I wanted to do together today is just to put in a few, like I said, FAQs that I get asked a lot, and I'm actually going to start with the one that I had listed to speak about the third. But since we're on the topic of conservative risk and moderate risk, I'm going to pull up the trades panel again, and you can take a look at the moderate profit on all trades right here, and we also have conservative profit. So once again, as Jamie was saying, moderate profit is taking the trade and ignoring all of Holly's exits except for the stop loss. Okay, it adheres to the stop loss, and then closing them out on the end of the day. So if you came back and looked in like our back office and could see a history of how well moderate profit outperforms conservative profit, you would probably be amazed. And that is true with most trading. Okay, people come in here as day traders. They want to come in. They want to make the quick bucks. They like the fast movers. They want to jump in, grab 5,000 shares, ride it out for 20 cents, jump out, and jump on the next wave. It's a very tough game. Some people are good at it. The majority of people aren't. Okay, you got to be fast. You got to know how to just read so many different indicators, on your computer. There's just too many variables and a lot of things to follow if you're trying to play that real fast game. Trust me, I did it for years. But by watching all the statistics in the back office and seeing how all these trades that people are getting out of in the first 15 or 20 minutes, or it pulls back to the fast line and they jump out and it goes much higher. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is there. I mean, moderate trades held to the end of the day outperform conservative by a wide margin. Okay, so one of the most probably most asked questions that I get is somebody just wants to know my best advice, because I did it for a long time. Jamie, we're all here traded for a very long time. And they ask, what's the best advice for day trading? And you know, people talk about fear. You got to conquer your fear, your greed, uh, risk management, you know, capital management, and all that, which is all true. But I think it can be summed up, okay, in trading longer time frames. I can't tell you how much it's going to ease you as far as your emotions go when it comes to trading. Um, you are going to uh, you're going to find yourself. Let's just try to find an example. This is one of Holly's trades here. This is probably a good example. This was hot stock today. Okay, Holly traded it. It wasn't earnings. It must have had some sort of news to gap and go like that. But nonetheless, relative volume was there. This is one where a day trader would probably jump in this and, you know, get out. You know, possibly if you jumped in it in the morning, you're probably getting out maybe right around here somewhere, maybe scalping it for, I don't know, 50 cents. But look, at the end of the day, this thing just keeps going, keeps going. Of course, you get your pull back there. Everything gets a little bit sloppy in the last hour. We know that, but even still, it's still kind of bounced up. Would have made you a lot more money in uh, and Holly's a good example. You know, see right here, according to my metrics, as far as my stop loss, I'd have made $39 if I got out in conservative mode, whereas it would have been $196 had I just stayed until the end of the day. Excuse me, get another water here so I don't start hacking all over you guys. And I can play this over and over. You know, I've seen it, I've done it, I've been there. Guys, I'm just telling you, if you want to make good money day trading, you're going to have to get out of those micro time frames and really stretch yourself. Get to where you're the guy instead of buying it here and scalping it out here. You're the guy that's buying it here and waiting for it to pull back, hold the fast line, and adding to your position right here. You know, and that can be the same for swing trading. You know, you have to trade in a time frame where you can take your emotions out of it, and by doing that, you know, obviously you're probably going to favor one side, either greed or fear. People normally do, but I can tell you what, when you're trading these 15-minute, you know, 5-minute, 1-minute time frames, there's fear and greed in there all the time. And that's what I love about the paper trader. You can set up these strategies, you can trade, have your stops already pre-programmed in there, and not even have to look at a trade. Okay, because when you know, I traded for, like, day traded for 17 years, and then probably at about year 7 or 8, I quit looking at my P&L. I didn't even have it on my screen, and I became a much better trader because I was not getting it. I was not getting attached emotionally to that number on my screen, that positive or negative, whatever it was. I was just manning according to the technicals, and it made me a much better trader. And also, by stretching my time frames out, you know, getting out of those real short time frames, and, you know, letting the trade work for me. Now, there's going to be times where you're going to wish, dang, I wish I'd have scalped it out from the first, you know, why did I listen to Andy? But overall, I guarantee you, you're going to find yourself making a lot more money if you can hold trades, you know, longer, 3 or 4 hours instead of 3 or 4 minutes. And you're going to trade a lot less. It's going to be less emotional. All right. Another question I get asked. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions, please fire away in the questions panel. I'm just kind of rambling, and I'm probably going to lose my voice. People ask me, what is the best momentum scanner? Well, I'll tell you this. A lot of those momentum scanners are the same, okay? It's looking for stocks that are hitting a new high and doing it on volume, okay? I got one here called Extreme Volume High-Low Pro. You guys have access to it in channel 4 of your channel bar. And I also have, excuse me, I gotta get some more water. I have one called Extreme Master Blaster. And I'll drop this one into the chat window in case anybody wants it. It's the same, pretty much the same as Extreme Volume High-Low Pro. It just has different strategies broken down in different price range and float and things like that. You can take a look at it and see for yourself. But I will share it for anybody who wants it. Just call it Master Blaster. All right, so when it comes to momentum trading, okay, what I like to look for, and I know a lot of really good traders that do the same thing, or stocks that are breaking out of the range. When you look at my momentum windows that I build, I'm looking for stocks. I don't have time to go into the configurations and break them all down. But if you did, you're going to see two things. They're doing really high volume, and they're breaking out of some sort of range, whether it's a 5-day, 20-day, all-time high. You know, I I want to see them out of a range. I don't want them in no man's land. I talk about this in 301, TI University 301, and I give great examples of how you see stocks that will have this blip of volume for 15 minutes, and they'll go nowhere. And you look over in the daily chart, and they're stuck in no man's land. They're right in the middle of their 5-day range. I'm going to give you a good example. This SEDG, you can see it coming through Master Blaster today. Well, guess what? You also saw it come in through here yesterday. And look at this beautiful open right here, opening yesterday. It's what we call a gap and go on earnings on big volume. I know traders that will buy this thing hand over fist as soon as this thing opens the next day. Just because it's breaking out of an all-time high, it's doing it on big volume, and obviously it's breaking out of a range. And look at the follow through you had on this thing today. So even if you didn't catch the first 15-minute candle, maybe you're like me, you want to be patient and wait. Well, gave you another chance, broke out, came back, consolidated, and then, just moved higher. And then today you get some more action the same. I did, Benny. Oh, yes, Extreme Master Blaster I put into the chat window. Did I not paste it in there? Oh, I didn't hit enter, sorry. There you go.
Right, yeah, the name, but not the
Thank
link.
you.
There you go. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
in the chat
exactly.
window now, and then at any time you can always go to channel 4 and find that window as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, not Master Blaster. You can find Extreme Volume High-Low Pro.
That's right. I get the two confused.
Yeah. But you know what? As soon as I get some time, Jamie, I'm going to rehaul that whole thing and let you guys share any new ones that you built, and I'm going to replace some old ones. Anyway, we can do a rehaul on the thing, overhaul. All right. So, but yeah, there you go. So when it comes to momentum trading, scanners, and I'm not going to say that. I mean, some people out there have some real good ones, but all in all, most of them are showing the same thing. They're finding you stocks that are doing big volume and breaking out of a range. And if they're not breaking out of a range, really, I mean, I'm not going to say that. I guess they can eventually. Maybe you catch them early and then they break out of a range. That's fine too. Whatever. Me personally, I like them to be breaking out or have already broken out. All right, let me get a drink of water and we'll move on to the last topic here. Oh boy, it's a tough one. And that is, I get frequently asked, can TI be used for swing trading? And yes, it can. And when it comes, if you think about it, guys, a good swing trade is just a day trade with a really nice daily chart, okay? Every swing trade starts out as a day trade, if you think about it, okay? If you enter a trade, let's take this for example. Let's say it opened up. We liked everything we saw about it. It was coming through all of our momentum option windows and everything else, and we buy the stock right here. Well, this can possibly fail, even though it's beautiful. It's breaking out to all-time highs for whatever reason. If a seller wants to sell at this level and he's got a lot of shares, this thing could roll over. Okay, and you could possibly have entered this as, hey, I'm going to swing this for several days. It's breaking out of a range. Well, even though you entered it as a day trade, if it would have rolled over and broke below your stop, you have to go in with a stop. And I've seen Charts do reversals after the first 15 minutes and just keep, we've all seen it, okay? So the point I'm making is every trade that you have has a stop in it. So theoretically, a swing trade can turn into a day trade if you get stopped out. So what I'm saying is I try not to think of trades as day trades, swing trades, investments, kind of a different animal, but maybe swing scalping, what I like to do. I like to grab a stock, I look for the setup and grab it and trade it for 3 days, because that's where I get the meat of the move. Steve and I kind of created this style over at Today Trader. So try to not think of it in terms of giving it a name, and just think of it in turn as you're positioning yourself. Okay, you're positioning yourself for a good risk reward outcome. So therefore, a momentum alert can be a great swing trading alert, because taking our entry in the SCDG right now, okay, even though this is a momentum window, people come to me all the time and say, gosh, you guys got some great stuff for momentum, but what about swing trading? Well, we do have some stuff. You can create a lot of good pullback, and I've done that, but pullback alerts, you know, for swing trading. But also my best swing trading alerts are these momentum plays, because a lot of times the start of a huge move is that first day right here, like you see in SDGE. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, it's at all-time highs. It's at its yearly highs. This thing could go up another 15, 20 points over the next 5 days. So do not discount a window just because it's a Momo scanner that all it's used for is day trading. That is so wrong. I mean, this is could be a beautiful swing trading alert window. But getting back to Ken, yeah, so trade ideas can be used on any time frame, even investing. You can create it to where you can look for value stocks that has a good dividend yield, and or you can create good revenue stocks that have a great quarterly revenue, and look for opportunity of buying those stocks on pullbacks. So there's a lot of things you can do as far as with swing trading. I mean, remember that it's all just a time frame. Okay, so if you try to eliminate the day trading, swing scalping, investing, whatever it is, and just think of it as I'm putting myself into a position. Okay, if this position doesn't work out, I am going to lose X amount. If it goes, you know, if it goes in your favor, that all becomes subjective. Okay, what one person may want to hold for an hour, the next person may want to hold for a year. Okay, that's all subjective. But the key is putting yourself in a position to have a profitable trade, and trade ideas can do it all. And Jamie, I am done. Oh, I know I sound horrible.
Yeah, take Mike's recipe there and go make yourself feel better.
I think I will. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much. I have just about lost it all, and I appreciate you guys taking it easy on me. I'm going to bring Scott in here. He'll walk us out.
All right.
Oh, guys, and there's a daily support sessions. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for attending. A couple items. We have our new daily support sessions 5 days a week, including Friday. Just go to trade-ideas.com/live. That forwards to our YouTube page. Then you can bookmark it and check it out every day. We've got a new ebook out. Our CIO, Dave Mabe, wrote a nice little ebook about how to use earnings seasons to your advantage. Just go to trade-ideas.com/earnings. I don't know yep, there's the slide. Trade-ideas.com/earnings and get it. It's free and it's very informative. It's got some good ideas there and a couple of layout links. Trade Ideas podcast. We intermittently release podcasts, and we're going to have a new one up tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And to make sure that you can find it, just search for Trade Ideas Podcast in your favorite app, hit subscribe, and you get the new one. Download it automatically to your phone, computer, tablet, whatever you watch on. or listen to. And we've got a code that's good for 15% off any subscription. Simulate in honor of our trading simulator. Just use that. 15% off any upgrade or new purchase, new subscription. Go for it. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Also follow at Today Trader and at Trade Ideas, facebook.com/TradeIdeasPros, where to go to find us on Facebook. Any questions, shoot them to info@trade-ideas.com. That goes into our help desk software. It's the best place to send your questions. Going to have the recording up later on tonight or tomorrow. Stay tuned for a email from GoToWebinar tomorrow with a link to the playlist where it resides. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Andy. I hope you feel better soon. And thanks, Jamie.
Get well, Andy.
Thanks everybody else for